This is Kai Pacha with the Weekly Paleo Report for August 31st of 2016. And I want to talk to you today. This could be a long Paleo Report. I might have to do a special video just on these eclipses that are happening. I want to show you what these eclipses are about and look like from space, because we have one tomorrow. Yeah, September 1st. At the 9th degree of Virgo. So here we go, August 31st. We're just going to move this Earth just a little bit. Oh, we passed it up. So an eclipse here is when the Sun, Moon, and Earth are in direct alignment. Only in this particular case, then, we can see that they're also directly in alignment with each other, so that the moon blocks out the sun. From a particular place on Earth, the moon is, as you can see, it's an optical illusion that the full moon is about the same size as the sun. When you watch the sun rise or you watch the moon rise, it's phenomenal, actually, that the moon lunar goddess and the solar god are the same size when they're looked at from the Earth. I mean, that's pretty awesome, amazing by itself. There are no accidents in astrology, but let's move on with the astronomy here. Because what we have, if we go back, okay, there was the full moon lunar eclipse that I want to talk about, okay, was on August 18th. So a lunar eclipse is when the Earth, it's a full moon, only the Earth gets in the way, okay, so it blocks out the moon, okay? So we had a partial lunar eclipse on the 18th at 26 Aquarius. Then we come around and we have an annular solar eclipse September 1st. This is what we call the eclipse season, okay, solar eclipse. And then coming up on September 16th, right, the next full moon, we have another lunar eclipse, okay? So I'm going to talk about this. This is a month-long period, really, from August 18th all the way up till September 16th. This is the eclipse season, and it is powerful. And it's even, I would say, more powerful because, look, did you see Mercury? Mercury, I don't want to say it's in the way, but, here we can see that this is the phenomena now of Mercury Retrograde. We know that Mercury went retrograde yesterday, August 30th, okay? And that is, retrograde is that if you look at the stars back here, look at the stars back here now, okay? It's an optical illusion, as if Mercury is moving backwards through the stars instead of forwards. Watch. If we draw a line right now, okay, just between with this program. Oh God, oh no. Oh no. Don't tell me, stop it. What's this now? Oh shoot. Go back. Go back again. Get rid of the orbit stuff. Jeez, I'm trying to do a report here. Okay, clean this thing up. Here we go, ready? Here comes Earth moving. See, now it looks like, see how, now if you draw this line, and it's very interesting because we do have, okay, a Mercury-Jupiter Sun conjunction, really going on. Well, at least with the moon. Look at, from the Earth's perspective, we come around here, and boom. Friday, Moon, Mercury, Jupiter conjunction happening. And then we have the sign of Virgo back here behind these. So that's something to also be looking at. And then Mercury comes along and moves right in the face of the sun. Doo-doo. That is a Mercury conjunct the sun. That is on September 12th. Yeah. So we have this retrograde Mercury, and it's basically retrograde because it's passing over the face of the sun. And it doesn't go direct until the 21st. As of the 21st of September. Now if we draw a line between the Earth and Mercury, the Earth is going to be moving out here, and we could keep drawing lines, and Mercury will move forward with the background of the stars. Do you see that? I hope so. If not, that's just your cup of tea. Maybe this isn't your cup of tea. So, let's look at what else is going on. Okay, so I talked about Earth, Moon, Mercury, Jupiter conjunction. Okay, that's very clear. But some other things are also going on that are very interesting to note. And that has to do with, of course, I've been talking about for a long time, okay, Saturn square Neptune, because the Earth has been moving right on through here, okay, and Saturn is exactly square Neptune for the last time on September 10th. So if we draw this, it doesn't exactly look that square. But if we, and then if we go back, we had Mars square Neptune. You see how here you can see there is a square, Earth, Mars, Neptune square. Okay, yeah. And then what we're also coming up to here, and that will be on September 11th. So we have a lot going on here, right? September 11th, Venus is square to Pluto. Can you see that if we drew lines, if we made a triangle, okay, this would be a 90-degree angle here between Venus and the Earth and Venus and Pluto. So this is just what it looks like astronomically, and this is how we come up with all of our astrological observations, is by the harmonics and the angular relationships between the different planets and the moon and asteroids, and then we have the constellations in the background, of all of this going on here. So I want to just use this as an introduction to what I'm going to be talking about with eclipses, Mercury retrograde, Venus, this Mercury Jupiter, all this stuff happening on the north node of the moon. So let me look at the camera and see what's going on. The anonymous movement has decided to come in and replace Kaipacha. Therefore, today's Pele report will be slightly modified as he is being held captive. We wish everyone in the audience to watch the movie V for Vendetta. V for Vendetta. The Vendetta is about an explosive revolutionary change in the way that the world works. And it is accomplished by the union of many, many, many people, led by one particular man, inspired to seize control of their lives again from external authority figures. And this is part of what we are going on, or what is going on with each and every one of us today. So let's look at the astrological effects. I just got that mask, so I had to check it out. See what you think of it. I've wanted one for a long time. But seriously, this is a time of revolutionary change. And it goes back, okay, it goes back many, many, many years. Well, this Saturn-Neptune square goes back, 20 years, more than, 20 years ago, to the Saturn-Neptune conjunction. But more recently, we just go back and can say that, in the spring we also had, it's like all eclipses are not created equal. This is a north node eclipse. And the north node of a planet, or the north node of the moon, makes that planet predominate. So in the spring, March 8th and 9th, we had another total eclipse. But that was a south node eclipse. Very different. The south node eclipse, the moon kind of takes the background, and the solar will, the solar drive, the solar purpose takes charge. So in the spring, in March, during that eclipse season, we may have glimpsed new visions of ourselves, of our lives, of our relationships, of our communities, of our planet. And now, 6 months later, we come into another eclipse season, only this one is different. First of all, it's a lunar eclipse followed by a solar eclipse followed by another lunar eclipse, all on, this time, the north node of the moon. Well, I mean, the lunar eclipses are on the southern node. But it's interesting to have a solar eclipse sandwiched in between these two lunar eclipses. Only now these lunar eclipses are on the south node. The moon is on her own south node. So she gives way. She gives over her power. And it is more of a solar time. And that solar will, that solar objective energy predominates. So on August 18th, we had that lunar eclipse. And you may have felt this objective, non-attached view of your past, of your life, even your past lives, and the changes that you wish to make, that you desire to make in your life. And these eclipses bring about a need for change of our behaviors, our feelings, and our thoughts. So then, there comes in new feelings, new behaviors, new thoughts, new solar purpose on the 18th, on that full moon where the sun is so powerful and strong. And now we come around, and she, the moon, comes around to her own north node, and eclipses the sun. And when that moon comes in between the sun, she absorbs all the consciousness, all the light, all the will, all the spirit purpose way, and blocks it and doesn't let any of it through. And instead what we get, is what? The reaction, the emotional reaction to what we saw or felt before. Yes? Now that sun is really inhibited. It's blocked. The solar will is blocked, and what comes up is our inner child, our emotional needs born out of the past, where we can get crazy, lunacy, where there's opportunism, ego selfishness, self-centeredness. This is I, me, my inner child, and my needs and my wants. Now, it's very interesting. So this is a time, like I say, with this eclipse season, but particularly coming up tomorrow and this weekend, and also with a retrograde Mercury, which takes the mind kind of out of it. This is a time for, like V for Vendetta, explosive, life-changing events, conversations, initiations. This is a time of meeting, ourselves, and stepping forward. And it's no coincidence that the north node of Pluto, the north node of Saturn, the polarity point of Pluto is in Cancer, which is ruled by the moon, which has to do with this overall revolution occurring. as the patriarchy falls away, and the value and the importance and the necessity of us all being in touch with our feelings and acting in accordance with our personal wishes and emotional desires. Yes, instead of strictly coming from, okay, this light, ordered, structured, bureaucratic, safe, masculine, patriarchal, hierarchical organization of life, we are allowing more chaos, we are allowing more lunacy, we are allowing more of the human element, the human experience, which is this feminine. We can even look at it as upper and lower chakras. That this, that we're coming from, and the need is to integrate, yes, this light with the dark, the masculine with the feminine, and this willpower, this driven, organized, goal-oriented action needs to be tempered and taken into consideration and account. This wild, emotional, feeling life force. Because here's the thing. We need water. This is an earthly planet. We need water and earth. Our kundalini resides at the base of our spine. This is the chi, the red energy, the life force. This is the Shiva and the Kali that come along and give us the juice of life. Yes, the interest, the wild, the free, the interesting, the ups and downs, the human experience, the human element. We are not automatons. We are not robots. We are not just coming in and acting according to, okay, this plan or this strategy or this ego will force. No, we are to work in the heart chakra. The fourth chakra is the uniting. It's the uniting chakra of the light and the dark, the above and below. So like I say, what we're doing is we're breaking the old bureaucratic, the old hierarchical, the old patriarchal forms and modes of social organization. But it's not just exterior, it's interior. And the work is inside each one of us. And the more that we can connect to our emotional self, to our Cancer self, to our lunar self, and pay attention to our bodies, our sexual expression, our emotional expression, our heart love expression. This is a time for love to be really manifesting in new ways, shapes, and forms. And it involves this coming, descending into this underworld of the dark. And this underworld of the dark comes now, this weekend, with this solar eclipse. And then it moves on. And it will be 2 weeks from now. 2 weeks from now, that again, okay, we will have a lunar eclipse. And we will go back to that place. And this will then be the emotional reaction to the changes and the initiations that have occurred this weekend. It's a whole season. We don't want to just see these eclipses as separate entities. What goes on for this month between August 18th and September 16th? This is the initiation of a new you, of a new outlook on life. And it will upset. And the challenge is to make the change. And what you'll get 2 weeks from now is the resistance, the reaction to the change that may be initiated now at the solar eclipse. So you may initiate changes this weekend, but it's not over. Okay? Hang in there another couple of weeks, because when this full moon rolls around, that's when you're going to really meet all of the fears, all of the patterns, all of the stuff from the past that is, fearful of the change. and fearful of letting go. And so we want to look at this whole eclipse season in kind of a larger context. So we get that objective, detached view with that initial lunar eclipse. We come around into the solar eclipse and make emotional, we could get really awakened to our egocentric needs and our emotional desires and nature, and can kind of go wild and can kind of even be manipulative or, selfish or whatever. And I just want to say that, this whole cycle was initiated with a lunar eclipse in Leo. The sun in Leo, moon in Aquarius. And now the rest of these are in Virgo. So this Leo is about recreating ourselves anew, and that's what this time is all about. So I want to encourage, this is a time of great change. Great forces are coming in from cosmic, galactic realms in infiltrating our solar system as the moon blocks the sun. This is a time to be tapping into some very high cosmic spirit beings that are beyond our ego limited perspective. And these we experience as chaotic nodes. We're going through a chaotic node, as Tom Kenyon would say. And this chaotic node is calling for massive amounts of upheaval and change. And a couple of weeks from now, you're going to then experience, your own. And I mean, this can all happen within yourself, within your chakras, within your masculine and feminine balance, within your emotional sexual expression. So how do we do it? I just want to say, I want to just super encourage everybody. This is a super heated emotional time where you're going to want to release and blow off steam and vent and lose it and go become a lunatic. And I want you to do it. And I want you to do it in a safe space. And I encourage you to do it through your physical body, through exercise, through athletics, through climbing mountains, swimming in lakes. I encourage you to do it making love and, building up a sweat, and experience your emotions and open yourself to these feelings and integrate these into your identity. I am not a, calm, centered, never gets angry, intellectual, works everything out being. I am a human being. And it's time for me to acknowledge and integrate the totality of my senses. So this is really an opportunity, but like I say, it may be an opportunity in disguise because it's upsetting our lives. And this brings me to our mantra for this week. The mantra for this week is, the juicy, wild power in me that destroys and creates me again is calling me forth to change my life, regardless of old ego plans. We make plans. We make goals. We establish truths and belief systems and desires and, values. And as we evolve, as we mature, as we expand our consciousness, these change. And our desires change, our needs change, and it's time now to incorporate these new changes into an expanded sense of self. That first Leo Aquarius eclipse leading up to Virgo, which is now mutate, adjust, discriminate, discern, purge, and purify the old, no longer necessary, limited perspectives, points of view, beliefs, relationships, In order to prepare for Jupiter moving into Libra, Venus squaring Pluto, all those aspects that I talked about at the beginning. This is all coming in the month of September. August, September, I've said it for a long time. This is a huge culmination of what began last November, December, January, and had its seeds, of course, in our inner psyche long before that. So be upset. Allow your ego plans, your strategies to be mutable, to be adaptable, and let go, and purify, purge, do a cleanse. And this is cleansing your past patterns, your past conditioning from going way back to childhood and previous lives. Good time to get a regression, past life regression, or a hypnotherapeutic rebirthing session. Get into, like I say, your body, your emotions, release. Go, you spend a lot of time outdoors, under the moon, under the stars, yelling at the stars, dig a hole like the native indigenous peoples and scream into it. Do emotional release, use your emotional release techniques. And feel these and open yourself. And allow the change to happen. Bring in the change. Initiate new feelings, thoughts, and behaviors. And I'll be talking to you over the next couple of weeks with more paleo reports. But like I say, the full moon coming up here, in September 10th, I think, is also going to be like super powerful. So this is part of a chain that I say began a couple of weeks ago. Right now, this weekend, we are in the thick of it. And it's time to lay your cards on the table. And then 2 weeks from now is going to be sweep up the 52 card pickup. Yeah, this weekend is the 52 card pickup. Throw it all up. See how it lands. So yeah, one more time. The juicy, wild power in me that destroys and creates me again is calling me forth to change my life regardless of ego plans. You could see I got a little torn there between old ego plans or just ego plans. But anyway, that's enough for today. Namaste. Aloha. So much love.